Hi there, I'm Mrs. Mathis, and today I'm going to share some foolproof tips for succeeding in school. These are strategies that work for everyone. You don't have to be crazy smart to do well in school, so let's get started. Now, if you're just trying to pass, and I'm talking about like middle and high school here, obviously there's some college classes out there where you can try your hardest and still fail. But for the most part, in middle and high school, if you do these three things, you're going to get at least a C. Okay, so the first one is to show up and do all of the work. That's it. Literally clock in, do the work, clock out. You have to do the work. Good test grades won't save your grade. You can't afford to be lazy anymore. Classes don't let you test to pass anymore like they used to. So you can't just bank on being smart or whatever. Your teachers want you to do the work, and it's good for you. It helps you learn, and it helps you build skills. If you're struggling, ask for help. Try it yourself first, but if you get stuck, communicate with your teacher immediately. The sooner they can help you, the better. Don't let yourself fall behind because you're too afraid to ask a question. We all have questions, and there's nothing wrong with being confused or challenged. That's what teachers are for. We are here to help you overcome those challenges. You should also try to establish a good relationship with your teacher. I don't mean go be a suck-up. I mean talk to them. Don't be mean or have an attitude. Ask them questions, say good morning, tell them about yourself. A teacher is going to do their job for every student, but they will go the extra mile for students they like. For example, if Susan comes into my class, she rolls her eyes at me and then snaps at me throughout class, I'm not going to stop Susan in the hallway to remind her that her lab report is missing. I don't want to deal with Susan. She's a pain in the butt. I'll still do my job for her and help her if she asks for help, but I'm not going to go out of my way for her. On the other hand, if Susan says, "Good morning," tells me about her volleyball game this weekend, and is generally positive, I will go out of my way to help her if I notice she needs help. Now, if you're just trying to pass your classes, that's it. Those are the 3 steps. Stop the video here. But if you're ready for the next step, if you want to get really good grades and prepare for college, keep watching. So here I've got 9 ways to an A, or as I like to call it, teen craps. That's a wonderful name, right? So this is for you special little turds who want to shine brightly in your classes. You're like polished unicorn poop. You don't just want to pass, you want to be successful and embrace the learning experience. Teachers love students like you, not because you're born smart or anything like that, but because you want to constantly improve yourself. So the first one I'm going to talk about is think. Oh, and before I get into that though, I do want to say that some students find it easier to get an A than others. Don't compare yourself to those students. Just do the work and celebrate your good results. Also, some teachers hand out A's like they're candy, but a good portion of teachers, and I don't know if it's most or just like some, a good portion of us only give A's for exceptional work, and I'm one of those teachers. So if you were to get an A in my class, not only did you do the work, but you were also probably doing at least half of these 9 practices. And if you plan on going to college, these skills would be especially important. So the first one's think, okay? And that's it. Think about what you're learning. Not just in class, not just when you're doing the homework, but just when you're sitting around. Pause, reflect, sit down. Just let it mull over it in your mind. Be curious, ask some questions about it. Go to the next step. Research your questions that you have. If you're thinking about things regularly, if it's just on your mind, that's the first step to being a better student. You don't just clock out when you're done. Go the extra mile and think more about it. Also, you should be doing your best. If you want an A in the class, you need to do your best work on every assignment. You should have pride in your work, no matter how small the assignment is. The rewards of doing well, accomplishing your goals, getting praised, and feeling confident that your knowledge is growing is worth it. Working harder will actually make school more enjoyable. Think about a time when you put a lot of effort into something and it turned out really nice. Maybe it was a piece of art, a recipe, something you built, a story you wrote, or even a video game that you put hours into. The satisfaction of achieving something after doing the work and being challenged is addictive. If you can trick your brain into enjoying working hard, you are absolutely going to kill it in school and in real life. So the next thing you need to do if you want to get A's is take notes. Take notes, annotate, mind map, model. Get it on paper. Do this in class. Do this when you're doing your homework. Do this when you're doing your reading. Do this when you are looking up related study resources. And you're going to use different styles of notes for different purposes, depending on the class, depending on the subject. Now, I'm going to talk about notes for a little while, so hang tight. I really can't overstress the importance of taking notes and putting what you're learning on paper. So the first one I talk about is annotations. So if you're reading something academic and it's blank when you're done reading, you're doing it wrong. Print that thing off or save it as a PDF and use a PDF editor. If you print it, write all over it. Underline, highlight, circle. You're going to be looking for main ideas, important words. In the margins, add in your thoughts, your questions, connections you're making. Don't let the author be the only one talking. You're going to talk back to the text. Treat reading like you're having a conversation. If you don't understand something you read, look it up and put that definition right on the paper. Be an active participant. Interact with what you're reading. So this is kind of what a mind map looks like. So that's another skill you're going to take that helps you to learn. So mind maps are great for reviewing something you've learned. You start by kind of just brainstorming everything you can remember and just kind of put it on paper. And then organize it. Put the main question or the main idea in the center and then branch out. Connect your thoughts and the different things you've learned. Almost everything we learn exists in a web of knowledge. It's up to you to connect the dots and form new understandings. Mind mapping shows your thinking on paper and actually improves your thinking patterns over time. It makes you smarter. Another skill you should do when you're taking notes is modeling. So modeling just means explaining something without words. So a model could be like an equation, it could be a graph, a diagram, or a labeled picture. This is especially important in your science classes, but you can apply it to every class. It's also easier for a lot of people to remember visuals rather than paragraphs of text. It also forces you to think abstractly and to understand at a deeper level how the concepts you're learning actually work. So I'll show you a few examples of some different forms of notes, because notes can take different forms in different classes. For some classes, you might take Cornell notes, and those look like this. And for others, your notes might include diagrams, bullet points, images, or even math equations. So I want to brag a little bit about the best notes I've ever seen in my teaching career, and they are right here. So when I was teaching in China, I had this student, and let's call her Belle. So she took the most perfect science notes I have ever seen. Look at how immaculate this is. She's got headings, neat bullet points, underlined vocab, a vocabulary word bank, and labeled figures. She even translated all of the vocab to Mandarin to help her study. Now, this is one of 4 pages like this that she took on one chapter. To this day, I'm still proud of her. Another skill you should be doing if you want to get an A in your classes is making corrections. Make corrections for everything you got wrong or that you could improve. You might not get credit for this. Your teacher might not improve your grade, but it's still worth it. You're going to be reviewing and avoiding making the same mistake in the future. And like I said, this is one that most students skip because they know it's a lot of work for no change to the original grade. But I promise you that it's worth it. If you struggle with the corrections, do them with another student or with the teacher in their office hours. Relationships are important here too, okay? So I can't really stress how important a good relationship with your teacher is. Like I said, we will do our jobs for every student, but we go the extra mile for students who are sweet and hardworking. Also, your teacher is going to have the best advice for how you can improve. They know your strengths, they know your weaknesses. They see you in class every day and they grade your assignments. Your teachers are your best resources when you're trying to make an improvement plan for yourself. And ask them for help. Ask for help and extensions whenever you need them. Of course, try it yourself first, try to meet the deadlines, but if you get stuck and can't figure it out, don't give up. Attend office hours, send an email. Most teachers want to help you, but they need you to make the first move. We're not mind readers. We don't know how hard you're trying or how confused you are unless you tell us. If we tell you to reread the instructions, don't get frustrated. Read them slowly. And if you still don't understand, ask a specific question. So not just, IDK, or I don't get it. How am I supposed to respond to that? Like, too bad? Communicate with your teacher what exactly is confusing you. You should also get organized. Get organized with your materials, get your space organized, get your time organized. So for materials, you're going to want to have, things organized into folders, notebooks. Use color coding if that's helpful for you. Get a planner. Write down your assignments. You should also organize the space that you're studying in. It should be clean, simple, quiet if possible. If you're not in a place where being quiet is possible, try instrumental music and headphones like lo-fi or classical. Try to make your study time as zen as possible. Organize your time. Write down all of your deadlines and break work into chunks. Do a little every day and don't procrastinate. And then the last thing that students who get A's do is they work with other students who get A's. Okay, so have a good study buddy. Work with other students who get good grades in school and work hard. Push your friends to do better and ask them to do the same for you. Try teaching and quizzing each other. See how your homework corrections and notes are similar and different. Talk about what you're learning. Sometimes you learn the most from your peers, but you have to surround yourself with the right people. In summary, if you want to pass, do your work, ask questions, and be nice to the teacher. If you want to get an A, you need to do those things plus extra effort. You'll need to practice and study regularly, do your best on every assignment, reflect on what you learn, be curious and search for extra materials, take lots of notes and annotate what you read and write often, do your corrections, get your school life and your mindset organized, and surround yourself with other people who want to be shiny unicorn turds just like you. That's all, and I hope this helped.